Hello again everyone. I've been meaning to make this video for quite a while and I finally got round to it. What I want to look at tonight is perhaps a few simple exercises we can do or we can include in our routine to improve our Morse keying skills. One thing I noticed while helping out at the Graz Morse Code School is that people have a little bit of trouble getting used to the Iambic paddle and the idea that it simply forms everything electronically. All we need to do is hold the paddles in and it forms everything automatically. But our brains seem to want to do this instead of allowing the electronics to do it. So when someone tries to form an F, they often tap the paddle rather than just holding it. Or if you look at an L, they might do this. Yeah, and we need to somehow train this tendency out of ourselves so that we begin to trust the key and allow it to form the characters rather than trying to do it ourselves. Now, is there something we can do to do this? Well, of course, if I was learning a musical instrument, I wouldn't learn just how to play notes. I would be learning how to move my hand up and down the instrument in order to form the notes properly. Because, of course, when it gets onto more complex pieces, if I don't move my hands and keep my fingers in the right position, I'm going to have trouble playing those really difficult pieces. So whenever we start out learning an instrument, we start out getting to know the instrument with some simple scale exercises so we get a feel for the instrument, so we can almost feel the instrument like Braille. We don't need to look at it anymore. It's just programmed into our heads how to get our fingers in the right position and get them in the right position for the next notes. We can do something like this with Morse code. So what I thought, we could create a little simple, maybe 5-minute routine that anyone can add into their practice routine. And like I say, we don't want to spend too long on this because scales do get a little bit boring after a while. But I think this might help just iron out some of those bad habits that we often develop when we're first starting. So let's start by just holding one of the paddles closed. Let's hold the dars closed. We'll start with the dars because they're a bit slower and easier. Okay, we can all do that and it should get boring pretty quickly. Yeah, what I want to do is I want you to count 5 dars and then just tap the dit paddle. So we're going to insert a dit every 5th dar. Let's try this. Okay, that's pretty easy because we've got lots of time to count to 5. Okay, but we're going to gradually make it harder. So we work our way up. When you can do that without any problems, then we're going to reduce the gap to 4. And then we're going to insert a dit by tapping the dit lever, just quickly, every 4th dar. Okay. And of course, once you've got that mastered, we can keep reducing the gap. So we go to 3. And then to 2. So there you go. Obviously, you should work at the pace that suits you. Don't try and move too fast. Make sure that you've got one mastered before you move to the next level. And of course, when we've got the dars mastered, then we can move to the dits. Now, this is where it gets a bit quicker, of course, because the dits are very fast and it's harder to count. So let's see if we can do 5 dits and then close the dar paddle just briefly. Hang on, I've got to try that again. That's 5. And as you can see, that's causing me a few problems. It's not so easy to do that. Let's try 4. Okay, I think 4 was a bit better, maybe just because is a less to count and less to remember. Let's try 3. There we go, there's 3. Let's try 2. That's interesting. 2 was actually the easiest there. It's because of just the rhythm that developed. 5, of course, you're having to count in your head, and it gets a little harder. Maybe that's good practice for when it comes to forming 5s and H's. I think that could help out there. As scales often do focus on making things easier, making forming musical chords and notes easier as well. So there's a little bit of crossover there. Okay, so we've got a basic warm-up going. When you've mastered all this, we don't have to stop here. We can make this a little bit harder. For instance, we can change the number of dars. So let's say we're going to start at 5 dars and we're going to work down to 4, 3, 2, but without ever letting go of the dar paddle. So as you see, I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, and that is quite difficult. And we can do the same with the dip paddle. So there you are, a simple, quick warm-up routine to include in your practice sessions at home that will hopefully iron out some of these bad habits with the paddle. I can't actually guarantee it will help, but you can certainly give it a go. Maybe it's right for you. Okay, see you next time.